What's up in War Eagle, everybody? Your guy Ike Jones. We are locked in for another midweek report again on a Thursday night because of the basketball game last night. But we're going to talk about Auburn versus ULM as well as the rest of the schedule for the SEC this coming week. Let's get straight to it. Y'all are watching the latest and the greatest edition of the midweek report. Thursday to everybody out there. Welcome in to those of you watching live. Appreciate it very much. You are watching the Midweek Report brought to you by the Rage Room. 2 locations to service you in Alabama. Opelika Rage Room at 1510 2nd Avenue, in Opelika, Alabama. Birmingham Rage Room at 2616 7th Avenue South. Go there, tell them the War Report sends you. They'll send you some extra stuff or get you some extra stuff to smash to get that rage out. If you are not a Green Name member out there in the chat, you could do that right now by joining the War Report. $5.99 per month get you to that patron level and all of the great perks involved with that. Great film reviews. We are doing basketball content, man. So if you're into basketball stuff, stay locked in with your boys because we got plenty of that. And there's going to be plenty of intrigue with the football team as we get into these last couple of weeks of the season. If you want to gift a membership, you could do that right now, and someone will get a free month of membership on you. We appreciate those of you who support us in this way. It's always amazing. And make sure that you guys check out the other guys on the network. We typically aren't going live on Thursday night. So I know the guys over at Uptempo were doing their thing over there. So if you're joining us from the Uptempo broadcast, appreciate you for coming straight over here. And yeah, she got Ike Jones Thursday night again, rolling solo out here with you all. But all I need is the love of my crew. The whole industry could hate me. I thug my way through. That's just a little Jay-Z line for no reason whatsoever. But appreciate the Green Name Game for checking in with your boy. And we will talk about all of these games and matchups we have this week on the slate. College football playoffs committee stuff is out there, and a lot of teams getting placed in crazy places. And it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. But the SEC trying to figure out how many teams they can get into this college football playoff. And let's start talking a little bit about the games that we have going on this week. This week's matchups, we got Murray State versus Kentucky. This is an absolute snooze fest of a game. I don't know that anybody outside of the state of Kentucky really cares about this game, but 3-6 Kentucky taking on 1-9 Murray State. Murray State, the former home of Janai Broome. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I guess Kentucky wins this game. I don't even know enough about Murray State to know whether or not it makes any sense to pick against Kentucky in this one, even though Kentucky is not a very good football team this year. But just off of athleticism alone, they should be able to win this game. I'm taking a peek over here. Oh, they don't have availability. I was about to say I'm going to take a peek at the availability report to see who Kentucky has out, but there's no availability report for games that are outside of conference. So, I mean, I'll pick Kentucky here, but that's only because, all right, it's Murray State. They shouldn't lose this game. So Kentucky should get to their 4th win this season. Who'd have thought at the beginning of this season we'd be sitting here having a conversation about SEC cellar dwellers, and Auburn and Kentucky would both be in that conversation. But here we are. Next up, we have Mercer, 9-1 Mercer this year, 12:30 on ESPN Plus, taking their record down to Bryant-Denny Stadium for number 10 Alabama, sitting at 7-2 right now. Yeah, Alabama should win this one handily. Shout out to Coach DeBoer. You know, we gave him a hard time during this season about, him trying to figure out whether or not his stuff worked. And he was confident, hey, listen, we've done what we've done. It's going to work. And you know what? He realized it doesn't work with Jalen Milroe. We need to make Jalen Milroe a running. It's the same thing the last offensive staff figured out about Jalen Milroe. He's super talented. To get the most out of his talents, we need to run the football with him, and they have figured that out. And Jalen Milroe has turned into a different offensive product right now. So shout out to him for being able to do some different things offensively with Jalen and switching it up. And, they should run through Mercer with no issues there inside the Plains. Excuse me, not the Plains, the Poopville. Um, I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to watch women's basketball at the same time. I'm just here talking to y'all and trying to watch them play. But next up, New Mexico State, the Aggies. This is not Diego Pavia's New Mexico State marching in to Kyle Field out here against the Texas A&M Aggies. So Aggie on Aggie violence happening this weekend. I expect Texas A&M to handle this with no issue. A 2-7 team in New Mexico State that's not very good versus Texas A&M, who is very good and has a vaunted defense. I don't see any issues with Texas A&M handling this game. The spread is 39 in this. I haven't done a whole bunch of research on New Mexico State this season, but no reason why they should be able to handle the business there. I don't know if they cover the spread. It's a big spread, but yeah, Texas A&M. All right, let's get into some games that may be at least remotely interesting, and that is LSU number 22 heading down to Gainesville to take on Florida, who is 4-5 on the season. Florida 4-5 on the season. That's also something I did not expect that I'd be saying at this point in the season. I thought they'd lose way more games than this, but shout out to, them sticking with their guy. They gave him a vote of confidence and they promptly go out there and get mud stomped right after it. It's all good, but Florida versus LSU. LSU's defense let me down last week. They were out there looking like pond water versus Bama on the road in Gainesville down there in the swamp. It's a midday game. Not going to have the nighttime atmosphere of the swamp, but I don't know. This is a tough game for me to pick. I think I'm going to take LSU in this one just because Florida is on their 15th quarterback or something like that. Looking at the availability report right here, Lagway is questionable in this one. Graham Mertz is already out for the season. So I don't know who's going to play quarterback for Florida in this game. And for that reason, let me take LSU in this one just because they need to be able to score some sort of points against the LSU offense that I think is going to go out there and put up points. So, yeah, let's go ahead and pick LSU in that one. Next up inside a Razorback Stadium, you've got Texas taking on Arkansas. Let me look at the availability report. One of the good things about doing this show on Thursday, the availability reports have been out for a full day, so you get to see all the stuff. Texas is coming in relatively healthy in this one. Arkansas still having some injury issues, and Taylon Green and Jaquindon Jackson are both listed as probable. Both of them likely will play, but if they are not 100%, I don't know where Arkansas gets the offense to be able to keep up with Texas in this one. So I'm going to pick Texas in this one pretty handily. I don't think that, I've said for a while, I think Arkansas is just an okay team. And if they're not going to have their two really best offensive players out there at 100% to be able to try to put up the points necessary to keep up with Texas, then definitely give me Texas in this game. Only favored by 12 points. I'm sure that line will move if that availability report doesn't change for Texas, or excuse me, for Arkansas getting closer to the game. It is at Arkansas, so maybe they, keep it close with some stadium magic or something. I don't know. But yeah, give me Texas in this one. Next up, interesting game. Again, I said this when I talked about Kentucky earlier. I'll say it about it now. Missouri versus South Carolina, 21 versus 23 matchup. Who'd have thought at the beginning of the season you'd be saying that? 7-2 versus 6-3. I think that this Missouri team is absolutely beat the crap up right now versus a team that has one of the best defenses in the country, defensive line specifically. Give me South Carolina in this one. They're favored by 13.5. Drew Pine is going to be the starting quarterback for South Carolina. And for Missouri, yeah, that's all I need to say, man. I don't know, man. I listening to the you listen to that Wednesday teleconference, and you hear Shane Beamer in there trying to talk about how Drew Pine, is a good quarterback and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, come on, bro. Are we being for real? Let's be serious. He's not. Let's be serious. Drew Pine's not a good quarterback. South Carolina's got a good defense. Give me South Carolina in this one. Look at the availability report on that one. Out for South Carolina. Nobody new, doubtful. Let's see. Yeah, nobody significant that I'm seeing out here that should impact this outcome significantly. And like I said, Brady Cook is listed as doubtful for this game. So is Mookie Cooper for Missouri. I just don't know how you get to a win if you're Missouri in this one, if you got to start Drew Pine. So yeah, give me South Carolina in that one. Next up, Tennessee versus Georgia. This is going to be an interesting one because Tennessee looked like crap last week, and Georgia didn't look very good either. Tennessee, Georgia doesn't have a running back, right? Like they're playing like a fifth string running back. They are trying to string a run game together with duct tape at this point in time. Versus again a good Tennessee defense. We talked about this. I talked about this with South Carolina. Good South Carolina defense. Carson Beck can't figure out who he wants to throw the football to, and it's usually ending up in the hands of somebody not in the same color jersey as him. Carson Beck has more interceptions on the season than Peyton Thorne. Think about that for a second. But yeah, so having said that, if Georgia's not going to be able to complement with the run game, I don't know how Georgia scores enough points in this game. Now, caveat to all of this, Nico is questionable for this game as well. He is listed as questionable for whether or not he's going to play. Does Tennessee have a backup quarterback that's capable of going out there and putting up points? I trust the Tennessee run game, though, right? So Tennessee's run game is going to be able to go out there and do what they do and control the clock a little bit. That plus the Tennessee defense versus a hobbled Georgia offense, specifically at the running back position. Let me get Tennessee in this one. Even though Georgia's going to be all upset and they're at home, I just don't know that they have enough firepower on the team to be able to get the dub. I'm going to take Tennessee in this one because of the lack of the run game. So I think it's going to be an ugly game. Honestly, it's going to be it's going to be low scoring. And, I trust Tennessee's defense a little bit more than Georgia's defense, particularly against teams that'll spread you out and run. You just saw it with them versus Bama. So let me get Tennessee in this one. Last game, actually, we won't do that game right now because that's our game. So that's it. That's all we got to talk about as far as games out there in the SEC coming up this week. Really not a lot of good games going on, a couple of them, but appreciate everybody who has dropped in here with your boy. We probably won't have a long show tonight because, listen, it's not a very interesting game, but y'all are rocking with me right now. We'll get over here into the quick break. I'll come back, take some comments. We'll talk a little football, talk a little basketball, but you are watching the Midweek Report with your boy, Ike Jones. Let's do it. This edition of the War Report is brought to you by our generous sponsors. The Opelika Rage Room in Opelika, Alabama. The Rage Room is a place where anger and stress find their ultimate release. Call or text 334-777-6688 to set up a session today, or check them out online at opelikaRageRoom.com. Golden's Cast Iron. Whether you work out, grill out, or chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at goldenscastiron.com. Thank you to all the sponsors of the War Report, and thank you to those of you who have continued to support us with the Green Name Gang. Y'all are in here doing the Lord's work. Appreciate everybody who supports us in that way, man. That helps keep the lights on here. Hopefully more people will continue to do that. Great content still coming out here from the War Report. A lot more content. If you guys haven't watched it, man, did a sit down with the basketball team or talking about the scouting situation. And got a little interview out there for you guys. Check that out. That's out there on the page right now. Got some more great content coming for you all. Don't worry. We will continue to feed y'all the best stuff out here with the War Report. If you are a member and you want to gift a membership, you can do that right now. Somebody get a free month of membership on you, and they'll be able to enjoy all of the great benefits of being a part of the Green Name Gang for at least 1 month, and they will love it and decide to come back, hopefully. And I know the offensive performances this week might not be great, but maybe somebody needs a little joy mode to be able to get their performance back on track. Go to tryjoymode.com, use 20%, get 20% off plus free shipping when you use code RAPPORT at tryjoymode.com. Natural supplement to help make sure your performance is at its peak. Head over there to tryjoymode.com. Again, use code REPORT. That lets the boys over there know the War Report sent you, and we appreciate that very much. If you're looking for a place to maybe go watch the game because you don't have a tailgate spot or whatever, you can go down to Auburn at Los Amigos Mexican Restaurant in USA Town Center, 1220 Fox Run Avenue in Suite 200 in Opelika, Alabama, if you want to get some Mexican food and some great sports and entertainment watching. You can go down there to Los Amigos, tell them the War Report sent you when you head down there and do that as well. Get over here into the comment section, see what you guys are talking about today. I appreciate once again, on a Thursday night for you guys jumping into the chat and talking with your boy. A lot of guys in here making their picks. TK says he's having Taco Thursday led by margaritas. Taco Thursday. It's usually a Tuesday thing. So why are you doing it on a Thursday? Shout out to Los Amigos if you want to get some tacos, by the way. But yeah. Let's see here. Connie says, been doing that for a week in vacation. None for me until tomorrow. So Connie is on vacation out here flexing on us in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like a mid-fall vacation, Connie. You know, what is that about? But you know, hey, hopefully you're enjoying your vacation. Where your vacation in that, Connie? You know, let me be jealous for just a minute of your November vacation situation. Let's see. Yes, I am talking about football. I understand. Plenty of basketball talk, man. We did basketball talk last night. Great game happened last night. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but you can go make sure y'all tune in. When you see Lobtown on the thumbnail, that's your boy Ike Jones out there talking basketball, man. So get to that. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the game for Auburn coming up, because I know that's what y'all really want to talk about. You want to talk about the matchup, Auburn versus ULM this weekend. 5-4 Louisiana Monroe heading down to the Plains to face 3-6. That just sounds disgusting saying that. Auburn inside of Jordan-Hare Stadium, 11:45 on the SEC network. That game has Auburn favored by 25.5 points. We'll talk about that line here in just a minute. The over-under is 46.5. So 25.5 points are expected for Auburn to win by, and the 46.5 line, which is crazy. The Football Power Index, according to ESPN, gives Auburn a 9,000 chance. It's probably supposed to be 96 or 92.3, but that's a huge typo on my part. Auburn has never lost to ULM. And this is not the time to be setting new records here, Coach Hugh Freeze. Go ahead and let's get this dub for the Auburn family. But what are your thoughts on the game? A lot of speculation this week about who's going to be the starting quarterback. Again, no availability report requirements for Auburn in this game because it's a non-con game. But Peyton Thorne has been limited in practice, and a lot of those reps have been going to this week have been going to Hank Brown. Last week, they were going to Walker White. So the question is Auburn going to start someone else at quarterback this week? I think the answer is going to be yes to this. And it likely will be Hank Brown. But what will the Auburn offense look like versus ULM? Now, again, you saw the spread there for that game. ULM is expected to lose this game by at least 25, potentially 26 points. And I think that's largely due to the fact that Auburn's defense has been so good against the run, and this ULM offense does not function well if they can't run the football. So Auburn expected to be able to shut down that ULM rushing attack that has been good this season. But again, if they can't run the ball, that offense has been stuck in the mud for the vast majority of the year. And I expect Auburn to be ready to go out there and shut down the ULM rushing attack. And they've got some dynamic running backs, and they've been able to go out there and really play keep away really against teams and break some big runs. And that's really what was the engine to a team that looked like they were going to be, bowl eligible very early in the season. I think ULM has only made it to a bowl game one time in their history or something crazy like that. So they're looking for their sixth win. This is not going to be the time to get that sixth win. but Auburn's going to have to just be good at shutting the run down. They proved last week versus Vanderbilt that even a prolific rushing offense like Vanderbilt can shut them down, right? And so if a team is hamstrung in their ability to throw the football, that plays into the hands of the Auburn defense. The question is, how can Auburn generate points, right? Like your special teams have been not good. I just say just not good this season. So you haven't been getting a lot of help from your ability to kick field goals, to cover on kicks, to return kicks without penalties. It's been difficult for you to be able to go out there and find points in that third portion of the game, or that third realm of the game. Your defense has been good. Your offense has been up and down for the vast majority of the season, really down a lot more as far as putting points on the board. And your special teams have been bad. And that leads to you having a 3-6 record because you're just not out there doing the things that you need to do offensively or in special teams to make up for some deficiencies that you may have. So you're not getting any help from any of the other portions of the team if you're on the defense right now. So, question is Auburn going to be able to score points? I don't think that this ULM defense is like formidable, but Auburn hasn't been good offensively. Like I don't want to fall into the trap of just thinking, okay, well, Auburn's just going to roll them up because they've got the better athletes out there, but they do need to be able to figure out ways to put up points in this game, or this game is going to be a lot closer than it needs to be. I think Auburn wins it because, again, Auburn is the better, more talented team, but I just don't want to see Auburn limp to a victory versus ULM out here because there's no reason for that. You should be able to go out there and do what you want to versus them, particularly in running the football and really controlling the line of scrimmage in this game is something that Auburn should be able to do. So looking forward to seeing Auburn do that in this game and get themselves a 4th win on the season. Now, will they be able to get to 5 is a whole other question we got to ask later on. But I do want to hear your thoughts. I know you all have plenty of thoughts about what you think is going to happen or what you want to have happen in this one. But what do you feel like the score is going to be in this game? And do you want to see? Here's the big question. Peyton Thorne doesn't play in this game, most likely, right? Do you want to see Peyton Thorne trot out there versus A&M and or Bama after this game? If he's healthy and available, should Coach Freeze play Peyton Thorne at quarterback in those last 2 games of the season? That's what I want to know from you all out here in the comment section here on the show. Appreciate you all for jumping in here. Let's see what y'all have to say about this game. Let's see what y'all got. See some Paul versus Tyson. We'll talk about that during like office hours or something like that. We ain't gonna talk about that tonight. Lots of energy. Kazan says, we shall find out next Saturday. I hear the lie coming from Coach Hugh Freeze about PT gives us the best chance to win. Has he moved on from that, right? Like he's already kind of prepping we're thinking bigger picture. Like that started to be the conversation. And I think how you perform from the quarterback position versus ULM will have a little bit to say about that, right? Like if you can't go out there and complete passes and get the offense moving versus ULM, how can Coach Freeze trust you to play against one of the better defenses in the country in Texas A&M the following week? Like the quarterbacks, Hank Brown, Walker White, whoever trots out there, and I hate to skip over Holden Geriner in this conversation. I just don't think, when we're talking about big picture for Auburn at quarterback, I don't know that Holden Geriner factors into that right now. So if Auburn is able to go out there and really roll ULM the way that they should, who's going to be the next quarterback that comes out there on the field during the garbage time? And that's going to be interesting to me. I think the answer to that is going to be Walker White. You'll get your first opportunity to see Walker White this year. And I hate that for Holden because he needs to be able to get some film out there that's positive for him because he just hasn't had a lot of opportunities to do that in his career here at Auburn thus far. But who do you think is going to be the second quarterback off of the bench? Jonathan Boyson is putting his vote in for Walker White, wanting him to start the game. I don't know that Walker White starts the game in this one again. I do think that Hank Brown will be the starter. And Hank Brown throughout the offseason has earned the ability to start the football game. Like, he's been the number 2 quarterback all year. I don't know that you jump ahead of him to go to Walker White in this game, because you still want to have him on your roster next year. If they were to jump Walker White, jump to Walker White, I think that puts you in a position where Hank Brown feels as if I don't have a future here, especially if, and we can talk a little bit about the recruiting stuff that's been happening, especially if you're able to retain a Deuce Knight, right? If Walker White gets the opportunity to start the remainder of these games, over Hank Brown, who's really done nothing. He talked about this with Peyton Thorne. Peyton didn't really lose the job. He just, he's injured right now, and maybe we just need, you don't have a future with him at your quarterback position because he's not going to be here next season. Do you start looking big picture? And if that big picture means we're skipping over Hank Brown to go to Walker White as the quarterback to start these games, then I don't know that you put yourself in a really great position to make Walker feel like he has a place on this team if you sign a 5-star quarterback as well. So you'd have, highly touted coming in Walker White. You'd have highly touted true freshman in as well. And you're likely going to go to the transfer portal. I don't know why Walker White sticks around in that scenario. So I don't think, for big picture, I don't know that you can just leapfrog him like that because he hasn't done anything to lose the number 2 spot all season. So we'll see. We'll see. I do hope that Walker White gets an opportunity to play. I just don't know that he starts. Let's see what else we got out here. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with me again. I asked the question, do you want to see Peyton Thorne? I see a bunch of no. But yeah, listen, I just don't know that there's a point to having Peyton Thorne out there anymore because your chances of making a bowl game are slim at this point in time, right? Like, you don't really have a good chance of making a bowl game. You've got to win out, and 2 of the teams that you're playing are in the top 25 in the country. So playing Peyton Thorne doesn't really help you get yourself into a good position going into the next season, even if he gives you the quote unquote best chance to win. Let's see here. Chess Rockwell. I almost didn't put this up here just because you trolled him a little bit, but we'll take Grant Lloyd over PT right now. Listen, as much as I think that Peyton Thorne is not like some phenomenal quarterback, let's be for real. Nah. No. That's not a real thing. Let's see here. What else y'all got out here? Peyton Thorne said he is good to go. Did he not? He did say he was good to go. He felt like he could finish the game last game as well, and he didn't have the arm strength to be able to do that. I don't think he will play in this game. But again, that doesn't mean that he will not play in the last 2 games of the season. So we'll see. Let's see. What else do we have out here? Not a lot of conversation going on today. Not a lot of y'all out here in the chat as well today, man. But listen, I do want to hear from you all later on as I'm going to close this out so y'all don't have to stick around here. Plus, I want to watch this women's basketball game. After we wrap up here, y'all make sure y'all go check out the women's basketball game so that we can support the Lady Tigers. They're struggling right now against Little Rock, who is not a great team, but they're trying to figure it out offensively. But a lot of momentum happening. We will have a ton of stuff going into signing day to talk about with you guys. So make sure that y'all stay tuned right here with that stuff as well. But I'm going to get out of here. A quick show tonight on a Thursday night because it's ULM who really wants to talk about that game. Hopefully Auburn just handles business and we don't have anything crazy. But before y'all get out of here, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and go ahead and sign up for a membership if you haven't already. We will have so much more on this game coming in Saturday, pregame, all that stuff. We will be doing that. I'll try to get a preview out for you guys. More film coming for you guys coming up soon. But that's it, man. I'm about to get out of here. Until the next time. And as always, War Eagle.